location for the latest in entertainment, beauty, and design from the people who make it. Thanks for joining.
Hello, hello, hello. Welcome everyone to the E-Spot with Camille. I cannot wait for you guys to join me with my guest today. We're doing a very special 420 episode of the E-Spot today, where I'm going to have the founder, CEO, all of the things from WH Farms. And she's having a little technical difficulties. Thought I was meeting her over at Instagram Live instead of here, so she's going to be a little late, which gives me a chance to share more about her. Let me just get this right in the right spot so I can make sure I can see her when she joins. All right. So, about Nicole. She owns a farm right here in North Carolina, close to Charlotte, where she grows her own CBD products. She not only grows, but she helps other people grow their own businesses by providing a not white label, private label. They used to call it white label, now it's private label. And to celebrate, I'm wearing Olivia Gatewood specially made earrings for today for 420, which I wonder how many of you actually know where 420 started, what it's about. Put it in the chat if you know. I'm curious if anyone knows where the whole trend of 420 started from. So I'm going to wait for that in the comments, and let's see if she's going to be joining soon. I learned from last week, if they don't show up after a certain while, maybe I'll have to go meet them over at Instagram, because I do not enjoy talking by myself for a very long time. Like last week, no thank you. Don't want to do that again. That's why I book guests. Anyway, let's see if let me just double check. While I'm waiting on her, if you can go ahead and just make sure you can hear me, see me, and let me know where you're watching from, whether it's on Instagram now, because I'm making sure she's doing okay. But let me know if you're watching from Facebook, YouTube, or LinkedIn, because I am over there as well live. And I'm just going to make sure she's joining. Okay. Tell you, I sent all this information to her publicist yesterday, but she clearly didn't find it, or is having some issues with it. I'm going to send her publicist information too. And sorry, sorry, sorry. The one time it's populating I'm trying to give her all the information, and it's like auto correcting me, auto adding. So yeah, let me know where you're watching. And on this note, today's word of the day will be, seems too obvious to make it 420. So let's go with something a little bit more interesting. And let me think. Yeah, I come up with it based on the interview. So maybe it should be abracadabra. No, I'm kidding. No, but please let me know where you're watching, and I will shout you out. I appreciate you tuning in today, because normally I'm only here on Thursday. So, okay, you can't see her yet, but she's coming in 3, 2. There she is.
Happy 420. How are you?
I'm telling you, happy 420 to you as well. Thank you so much for joining me and for being my guest today. So I'm sure today is a really busy day for you, being a CBD farmer, owner, all of the things. So share a little bit with everyone how you got started in the CBD business, especially in
Absolutely.
North
So
Carolina.
first of all, Thank you. Thank you for having me. And I'm very excited to share my story. 420 is a big day for our company. We are big into cannabis advocacy. My name is Nicole, and I started my role in this industry as a cultivator, actually as an advocate and a patient of cannabis. I was diagnosed with delayed PTSD after the transition of my father. I was a full-time real estate investor, fixing and flipping houses in Washington, D.C. at the time, licensed general contractor, a lot of pressure on my shoulders, and just found myself after the grief really going through a series of depression and high anxiety and just finding it very hard to focus and function. And so when I went to therapy, they, diagnosed me and then also went on the route to really prescribe medications and other therapies in order to help me really manage the PTSD. I happen to be in Maryland, which I'm in Washington, D.C. right now during this interview. We're here for 420 this weekend. And I was able to identify clinics in Maryland that offered medicinal cannabis to give me an opportunity to really try other plant-based options. So I chose to self-medicate, started with CBD tinctures and pre-rolls. And, it just genuinely gave me a new lease on life. And as a result of that, I was able to really began to see the other side of cannabis, the non-recreational side, the more medical alternative therapeutic side. And when I relocated to North Carolina before I married my now husband, I decided I wanted to launch into the industry. And so our investment in the industry and our opportunity has been to create a space where we're able to help individuals just like you, individuals who are interested in creating income and impact in the cannabis industry. We grow and we cultivate phenomenal products, and I can tell you more about the farm in a bit, and we bring them all the way to shelf. We help people go from seed to shelf and launching their own CBD brand using our WH Farms products.
Wow, so that was a lot all at once. We got your entire everything all in one answer. So I want to unpack some of that so we can really
Sure.
dig into each different section. Granted, at the same time, I want to make sure we're quick with this because I know it's a holiday, right? So this
Yeah.
is like your Christmas. So when you speak about medicinal, explain the differences between that for those people who still may be a little bit curious or maybe not so aware and don't understand the medicinal side of CBD. Explain
Yeah.
how it worked for you compared to maybe like regular pharmaceuticals that they tend to meditate or not meditate. I'm trying to feel meditated, but medicate people with for different issues.
Yeah, that's a great question. So, what we mean by medicinal is really understanding the therapeutic benefits that the cannabis plant offers. Oftentimes, when cannabis is discussed, there are these cannabinoids, which are chemical qualities of the plant. And the only cannabinoid that's regulated in this country is THC. THC is what makes cannabis marijuana. And with a lot of THC, obviously, there comes this negative stigma of just being high, unproductive, etc., or it's consumed for recreational purposes. But there are two species of cannabis, industrial hemp being a second species that's full of other chemical qualities like CBG, CBD, and those qualities have more therapeutic benefits. And so when we discuss the medicinal benefits of cannabis, it's first important to make sure that we separate it from the recreational benefits as is commonly known for. Secondly, it's important to also identify that our body and all mammals have what's called an endocannabinoid system. So in our body, we are already producing these same chemicals that we find in the cannabis plant. Because these chemicals are being produced in our body and also in this plant, when we consume cannabis using a tincture or vape pen or smokables or even edibles, the cannabinoids inside of that cannabis will go into our body and connect with those receptors and really help the body to have its own natural reset. We've seen individuals with elevated blood pressures have their blood pressures leveled after tincture consumption. We have a number of clients who have chronic pulmonary diseases that consuming tinctures and other CBD products, they're able to regulate without using chemical-based prescriptions that are made in laboratories that require obviously man inclusion. What we love about cannabis is that this is an herb that the earth provides, and we're providing the natural extract of this herb to these various products to help with the healing qualities that they offer.
That's fantastic. I love also that with CBD, although I recently became allergic to it, but hopefully it's a temporary thing. But you don't have a lot of the bad side effects. Like a lot of times when you're taking different medications, there's a list of other problems that you have to take medication for those problems for the next, like it's a continuous cycle. And it also feels with CBD because it's not something that, well, at least I didn't feel this way. It wasn't something that built up into my system that if once a certain time it wore off, I didn't feel the need to like, oh, let me take another one. Oh, like I was chill, like I was good. It got me to sleep. If I was like different, I'm trying to remember all the things I took it for because it's been a while, but it was medicinal. So it was, I used the different rubs. Because I used to have really bad PMS. So it helped a lot with that. And I
Yes,
suffered from fibroids and endometriosis. So it helped
yes,
with that as well. And um, I went through this stage where I was having issues with food as well. And it helped me want to eat in that sense too.
yes, yes,
There was like different ones I would use for certain different things. And when I lived in LA, I did have a medicinal marijuana card. I was much like you. I was also diagnosed with PTSD after being attacked, and
I'm sorry to hear
it
that.
it truly helped me with my anxiety of being able to go to sleep. Because a lot of times when I would try to go to sleep, I would feel like I was in that situation, and it would
Yes,
just
the
alleviate
trauma
that.
would
Where
reemerge.
I was in a more jovial, like relaxed mood before going to bed, as opposed to what am I going to wake up to kind of fear. And so I'm glad that more people are speaking out about the benefits other
Yes,
than what it's been portrayed in the media or in entertainment, where it's just for getting high, or like the equivalents to what people use alcohol for in that sense to numb situations out. And I love that you have your own farm as well. So can you speak a little bit about that too?
yeah, no, we actually grow on an African American and Tuscarora indigenous legacy farm. And that is so valuable and so rich in heritage because the word Tuscarora means hemp gatherer. And the region in North Carolina, Eastern North Carolina, where we grow, this is a region that was known for hemp cultivation globally prior to English settlement. So we are proud to bring forth a heritage of hemp cultivation through our company. We grow using organic grow practices. Our lead farmer also has that same heritage in his blood. And we're excited because what I've always represented as an entrepreneur is an advocate and a champion for generational wealth and generational legacy, and being able to stand on the shoulders of ancestors. Our freed slaves actually cleared that land by hand to be able to now cultivate a plant that once criminalized us, but we're showing the therapeutic and the medicinal benefits of it through our product development. That just packs in so much value and benefit and just excitement as it relates to what we offer. So we've been cultivating now since 2019. We are licensed by USDA, which is really exciting because we have a federal license that gives us the ability to not only produce commercially, but we also are able to ship nationally and internationally in most instances. And we're excited about the growth of the company because we knew that with the statistics of the inability for minorities to access the cannabis industry, especially to be able to really start a business in this industry, we wanted to really lower the playing field and provide access through our farm by providing those seed to shelf solutions and sharing the heritage of our farm with all of our clients because of the products that we produce.
No, I'm so excited to hear about this. And Eastern Carolina is actually where my family originated from. So I'm even more like excited about hearing more about your farm and your. At another time, we'll have to talk offline because I'm sure not everyone wants to hear about Eastern North Carolina, the PD area. So I'm what?
I said it's a beautiful place.
It is. I mean, that's also where the movie The Color Purple was filmed with Whoopi Goldberg and Oprah Winfrey.
Yep.
So, a little bit about your products as well, because there's so many different kinds of CBD, so many different strands, this, that, and the other. So, on your website, you kind of break that down as well. So, I'm going to just direct people to go there because this is not a complete lesson in CBD. This is just to give you a little taste of what all that you offer. But I do want to go over some of the products that you sent to me because I'm curious what are the differences and why people would use different forms of CBD
Yeah.
for different things. Like what's the benefits of each different one?
Yeah, so you actually held up the gummies in the craft bag package, and those gummies are broad spectrum, which is a form of CBD. This broad spectrum gummy essentially means that it has no THC. We've already gone through the chemical extraction process to remove all traces of THC. So for those who are sensitive to drug testing or just have any sort of hesitancy to really engage in the THC consumption, this is a very safe gummy that allows you to get all of the rich benefits of only the CBD cannabinoid, which is known for muscle relaxation, mood elevation. It's also known for anxiety relief, and it can help with insomnia combating as well. What I love about the gummies is that they're only 10 milligrams. We believe that we should offer products where people are able to self microdose, which means that they're able to allow themselves to take small consumptions of cannabis at a time so that they can allow their bodies to get familiar with the actual introducing CBD to their lifestyle. And that is the way that most conservative companies are really approaching introducing cannabis to perhaps a non-cannabis friendly market, or knowledgeable market, I should say. And so then that is
Well, now I want to talk to you about, yeah, the
so this is
topical.
the pain balm.
So
So
this is
the
the peppermint.
peppermint pain balm. It is one of our best-selling products. So the topical, what I love about the topical is that, first of all, it does not mix with your bloodstream at all. So for anyone who's ever sensitive to drug testing, topical cannabis products don't mix with your bloodstream. So you will be okay with testing negative there. But the beautiful thing about topicals is that when you apply them to areas where there's pain or muscle restriction, then the actual CBD entering into that largest organ, your skin, will really help to penetrate and relax those muscles and provide great pain relief. That particular product is a full spectrum, so opposite of broad spectrum, full spectrum CBD product. That means it has all of the cannabinoids: CBD, CBG, CBN, THC, and those topical, all of those cannabinoids each have their own benefit, but THC is known for pain relief. And so the reason why we incorporate THC into our pain balm, when we designed and formulated this product, we wanted it to be better than icy hot. We wanted it to last longer, but we also wanted it to really drive pain and help with insomnia combating as well. And so the THC helps with really driving in the pain and driving out the aggravation of the pain, while the CBD helps to relax the muscles, to soothe the body, and to also combat insomnia.
Great. Like so many different things, and I'm not hearing any side effects. So can you share any like common known side effects for any of these problems, or not any of these problems, excuse me, any of these products that people may incur?
Well, I think that the safest, remembering that your body is also producing cannabinoids. So when you are greeted with cannabinoids externally, the side effect isn't anything that's abnormal or out of the natural response. So what I mean by that is most people will find that they become more relaxed. Most people will find that they will perhaps just really be more relaxed. In any sort of overdose, if you will, which is almost impossible, but any sort of overconsumption of CBD, you find that your body just tends to rest and you tend to sleep it off. But there is not an overstimulation as it relates to the cannabinoid consumption. So I've not known of any. For anyone that's familiar with the cannabis product and the cannabis plant, there tends to not be, and I heard you mention that you had an allergic reaction, which actually this is the first time I've ever even heard or experienced that. But normally with our customers, they find that even if it's their first time consuming it, they just find themselves very relaxed and not sleepy. CBD actually is an appetite suppressant. So a lot of times people assume that all cannabis gives you the munchies, but that's not the case with CBD. CBD actually helps to suppress appetite. THC gives you the munchies. So, just the CBD benefits tend to be very therapeutic, and it tends to really incorporate or mix well with your lifestyle.
Yeah, I wonder if some people are having those reaction because of what they think it's going to give them. Like I can't think of it a term now where people are given the placebo effect,
Placebo.
where they're expecting to have the results of Snoop Dogg or
Exactly.
or Willie Nelson in that matter, and obviously these the THC products will not give them that effect. But for those who are looking for products for enjoyment, for parties, or I mean, it's getting ready to be party season, whether it's graduations or or other things. Which products do you recommend for that?
So I definitely recommend the pre-rolls. The pre-rolls are also full spectrum. They have the legal limit of THC. They also provide CBD does not provide psychoactive highs, but with the little introduction of THC, you do get somewhat of a euphoric effect. We actually have an exotic pre-roll on our website now, and to everyone that's watching, you should know that today, if you happen to catch this on 420, it's free shipping on whfarms.co today to celebrate 420. But we have an exotic pre-roll that we produced specifically for 420 that has blue lotus and mullein and all of these various herbs in addition to the full spectrum cannabis that allows you to really get a nice euphoric blend and a smooth smoke. And also the CBD, the edibles. The actual gummies, although they are THC free, they do help with mood elevation and also creating and lightening the load with the anxiety relief. So that's also great for party season, especially individuals who deal with social anxiety is something to definitely consider. I may also mention that our tincture on our website is a full spectrum product, the legal limits of THC. And for those who like mocktails or they may be opposed to alcohol consumption, they can actually make like a mocktail and put a small squirt of tincture in it using the dropper. And it can also help with social anxiety and kind of elevating the mood when they're getting into the party scene.
No, like I'm sober, so I don't drink. So that's good to know that
Yeah.
mocktails can give you a little bit of borderline. And yeah, it's weird. I haven't had like I've used THC CBD products since I don't even know when because I live in North Carolina, so I'm not going to criminalize myself. But when I was in LA and I used both, um, and even just recently when I started just trying gummies again because I had had surgery and was just trying to figure out ways to like I saw dope stick and just was like I don't want to take any more of this pain medicine. CBD worked for me before, so I was trying it in that sense. And I think it might be something else that maybe they just like one of the oils or something that works with it because I do have an issue with coconut oil. So I don't know. I haven't looked at the ingredient
Mm.
list that's in there, but I tried the bath bomb
Mhm.
and I was so itchy afterwards. But before, in a different product, not your brand at all, I was getting full on hives after eating it. So
Really?
that's the only
Yeah,
thing
it
that
could
I've
be.
noticed that I stopped doing and haven't had the issue anymore. But it could be more so of what is mixed with those products, maybe more so because I don't really eat gummies any other reason other than my vitamins, and I
Absolutely.
haven't had that issue. But maybe it's the organicness of it all. There's
And
something with
that's a great
coconut or
point.
something.
That's a great point because the formulation of the product truly matters. All of our body care products are chemical free for that reason. We also, all of our gummies are vegan, as well as our body care products are vegan, because we want to make sure that not only did we have a strong emphasis on bringing an opportunity to the industry, we also wanted to bring high premium quality award winning products to the industry and provide individuals with the option of consuming cannabis in a way that would be most gentle to them and provide them with the best experience. So the formulation definitely matters, and it could be a disagreement with some part of their formulation process for sure.
Yeah, I'm one of those people. I have hay fever. I'm allergic to nature, as I jokingly say. So I'm one of those people that normally when it's vegan, I'm like looking like, oh, yep, can't take it up. Can't take it. So that could be it. So tell everyone. So you're having the special today about free shipping, but also there's an opportunity for them to start their own 420 business or CBD business. So share a little bit about that as well, and then I'm gonna let you go. Have fun on your holiday today.
Thank you. No, I actually dropped some items in the chat as well, but we do have a white labeling service. And so, as I mentioned, our mission as a company, my board and I, we are very interested in ensuring that we are able to provide access to this industry so that people can plant their flag and grow this cannabis industry expands. I mentioned that I started when I was diagnosed with delayed PTSD. I was a very successful fix and flipper in the Washington, D.C. market. And so identifying emerging markets and identifying real estate opportunity was a knack for me. And so when I saw this industry exploding and I saw what was happening in other countries, I wanted to make sure that not only did we lock in a position for ourselves, but that in all of my business ventures, I've always believed that it's important to grow with people and to help people grow along the way while building. And so what we've done is we built a bridge into the cannabis industry for those who don't have the millions of dollars to invest the way that state programs are indicating that they should invest. For those who want to get started for less than $5,000 and have a legitimate federally legal CBD business, our company allows you to launch your CBD brand with WH Farms through our white labeling program. And what happens is you're able to choose one of our 12 products, various variations. We have a low minimum order quantity of just 30 units, and you can literally acquire those products. We produce to order, and those products will come to you unlabeled so that you can add your label, add your branding, and begin to sell them to your audience, whether you choose e-commerce or retail. We also provide additional support to help you become e-commerce ready. And we've helped over 120 brands launch in our less than 18 months of existence. We've seen many of them have 4- and 5-figure launches in their first 30 to 45 days. And it's because there's a high demand for CBD, especially quality products. And they found that their family and friends were already investing in pain management. They were already investing in self-care. They were already investing in ways to relax, especially post-COVID. We live in a post-pandemic society where people are naturally stressed, period. You know, just the existence in today's society and the difference between where we are in 2022 and what it looked like in 2018, that in and of itself is just creating stress. And so a lot of our clients have found that this is a great way for them to create that passive additional income, for them to start really developing some generational wealth, for them to plant their flag in this cannabis industry and grow as this industry is growing. CBD is federally legal because of the 2018 Farm Bill. And so unlike marijuana, which is a THC-based product, we don't have to have state permission in order to be in business and be in business nationwide. And we provided people with a very simple blueprint, a process that they're able to incorporate and follow and take them from seed to shelf. There's no question as to where your product is coming from. Your cannabis is being cultivated in Eastern North Carolina, and you have the ability and the confidence to bring that product to market and create revenue. So we have a white labeling call that one can book going to our website, just going to www.whfarms.co. And if you click the white labeling tab at the top, you can book a call and you'll meet with someone on the team, and we'll go over pricing and have conversations with what it will take for you to build your own CBD brand with WH Farms.
That sounds great. We did have a question come in, so I want to make sure I get that answered before I ask my question, because Angela Ray asked, how can someone determine if CBD products will help with their pain?
So I think that
And
the best
also like explain maybe what kind of pain it would work, which product would work best with too.
So I think that the best way to determine if CBD would help with pain would probably be through trial and error, because you would actually have to see how your body responds or how the pain responds to the application of CBD. I think that the most conservative way to do so is through topical application. So if you have a headache or muscle cramp, then using something like the pain balm that's on our website, or some sort of salve that helps with pain reduction, that will give you an opportunity to see the effect of CBD on that particular area. And then I think you were going to ask a question, Camille, about how or which. I would love for you to answer your question, ask your question as well. And
companies, if there's any, because it's been criminalized so much, working in with THC, people getting arrested for small quantities to big quantity, whatever. And so I'm curious, is there any legal limits as far as who can start a CBD company? What we can do here locally as far as legislation, if you want to touch on that at all either. Because I mean, when I think about the fact how many people have been arrested or still incarcerated because of marijuana or CBD, and all of these different celebrities have their own brands, and all these different people are celebrating and so and promoting it on their social media accounts, their different accounts, as opposed to alcohol that's legalized. And that's usually why people are committing crimes. I mean, you drive under the influence of marijuana, you might drive a little bit slower. I'm not really one to take those chances, but for those who drink, like, you could kill someone, like, there's a lot more to it. So I'm curious if there's any legal reasons why you can't own a CBD company. So if it's open to everyone, or you can't have certain past incarcerations. And then if you want to talk about the legislation part of it, because I'm sure you're probably well versed into it more so than I am, since you
Yeah.
do get a picture back and forth from legal places and places where it's not legal.
Absolutely. So, those are great questions. First and foremost, the reason why you find that there's so many celebrities endorsing CBD, and the reason why we are in the space that we're in, is because although it was a multiple six-figure investment for us to start this cultivation operation, you are able to start a federally legal cannabis company as long as it is industrial hemp. Industrial hemp has been separated from the DEA's a scheduled drug list. It is not considered marijuana. So it's very important for people to know that the word cannabis represents two species of the plant. Cannabis is not synonymous with illegal marijuana. Cannabis can also be legal industrial hemp. And because industrial hemp is federally legal, there are no state limitations. It's not being state regulated. It is already federally compliant and able to be sold throughout the US and internationally. And that's been since the United States Farm Bill that took place in 2018. So that's been the emergence of cannabis and CBD in the marketplace. When you go into the grocery store, the service station, you see CBD everywhere. It's because now federally legal hemp-derived CBD is able to be sold nationwide as long as it meets those, again, THC standards, where it has to have less than 0.3% THC. And this is your very question about the social equity side is the reason why we're so passionate about helping people plant their flag. I too have a brother who's serving a federal sentence, and the only thing they found was small amounts of marijuana, and there was some criminal he was charged with conspiracy. So there were statements that were made aligning with perhaps his illegal activity, but nothing concrete. And so I say that to say the sentence that he was received, in order, the amount of marijuana that he had in his possession at that time is what most legal hemp companies, I mean, to know that the trauma that those individuals go through behind the walls of prison for small amounts of marijuana, when corporations are growing tons of marijuana, literally. I mean, we grow thousands of pounds each harvest. So to think the difference is that we are in a different place in time is sad. And that's why we want to advocate for the social equity to be provided by form of access to this industry, so that for those of us who have had family members pulled away from us or taken away from us through this criminal justice system, we now have a way to jump back into this space and not let this industry grow, not let others become wealthy and prosperous in this space after it's been our family that's made the big sacrifices in really the promotion and the popularization of cannabis in 2022. So I think that that's an important note. But to your point, everyone can actually start a CBD brand. You don't have to have any sort of special license. There may be licenses required for the type of brand. If you are an edible company, you may have to follow certain commercial ingestible product manufacturing requirements that your state may require. States may require e-commerce knowledge of what type of products you'll be selling. But our company really helps you to navigate through those strategies, especially on the e-commerce side. But anyone can have a CBD brand as long as it's hemp-derived CBD. That is federally legal.
Again, great information. Thank you so much for joining. And I really, really enjoyed this enlightening conversation, and also getting to touch on a little bit of politics here and there too, just to make sure, because voting is coming in next month for some areas. So keep that in mind on the different people in your area and how their stance are on CBD, marijuana, all of it, and even decriminalizing the plant. Because somewhere I was reading something that most police don't have the kind of lab to be able to differentiate between cannabis and marijuana. So it's very easy that because you have something that looks like something, and like they don't know. So just keep that in mind as well. Learning more about in your area what's the latest, and even double check that out too, because I watch a lot of stuff and sometimes the facts just spill out and I'm like, oh wait, was that a movie or was that real life? So just double check on that. But thank you again for being my guest and sharing about your brother's story as well, because I'm sure so many people have that same story of a relative, a loved one, or even for themselves that have been through that. And it's time for that to change, because if alcohol can be legal and all the other things that they allow out there, it doesn't make sense. That's something that actually makes people feel better. And kind of would have been very helpful when we needed to be couch locked during the pandemic and it was on lockdown. A lot less people would probably be complaining about having to leave, because they would have been just Netflix and chilling anyway. So again, thank you so much for being my guest, and make sure everyone check out her website. As mentioned earlier, there's free shipping available only today. And if you have any more questions about CBD or anything of those things, please direct your emails and information or questions and concerns to Miss Q Nicole, and she will give you way more information about it, because I am kind of biased. So it's one of the things I think it needs to be legal. I just don't alcohol. I just find it so repulsive now, and in contrast, considering how much damage it can do to a family, to people's lives, as opposed to marijuana. I don't know anyone that's that has been a gateway drug, which is what they trained us during D.A.R.E. I don't know if you went through the D.A.R.E. program, but so again,
I was a D.A.R.E. ambassador.
I'm sorry.
I said I was a D.A.R.E. ambassador, believe it or not. I actually was the D.A.R.E. ambassador for my middle school.
Funny enough, I was at the Christmas parade one year. I was with McGruff, part of D.A.R.E. as well.
Exactly.
There's like a picture of me on the back of the truck in my yearbook. So yeah, lesson learned. Not everybody you take a picture with do you still support in that sense either. So again, thank you so much for being my guest, and I wish you a happy 420, and have fun safely. And everyone out there, make sure you tune in tomorrow for more eSpot. And of course, we're also going to talk a little bit about the environment on Friday for Earth Day. So make sure you check it out every day at 12 o'clock this week. I will have a new guest with more information on how you can be living a more sustainable life, or more eco-friendly life, and like today, a greener life. Okay. All right. So thanks again for tuning in. Make sure you check out CamilleCoward.com for more information, and look forward to seeing you tomorrow.
Bye, guys.